All right, so we're going to talk about the spoiler review. And if you haven't watched this movie, yes, there will be spoilers. I just want to give my quick movie review and Nick picks because the fans are divided. So I want to talk about when it all comes down to it, is this the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie? And I will say, no, it's not. No, it's not. It has a lot of flaws and nitpick. But first, let's get some music going on. All right. So we're gonna start off just with the basics. All right. All right. So we're gonna talk about the flaws in this movie. The movie drags. It really drags. This movie felt like it was 3 hours, even though it was 2.5 hours. The movie felt like it was three, and this is probably because of the poor editing choices and the sloppy writing. All right, the movie felt long because when I got out the theater, I'm like, damn, felt like I've been in there 3 hours, man. The movie just don't get to the. I mean, it just doesn't get to the point. The good thing about the movie though, it stars up really quick. So let's get into characters, right? So Adam Warlock, I did not like what they did with his character at all. It seemed like he started off really savage in the beginning. Like I'm like, damn, this is gonna be good. But he just got he just got dumbed down. They dumbed him down as time went on. Like he was real brutal, and this is what really got me into the movie because I'm like, damn, okay, Adam Warlock is brutal, but by the end of the movie, he was dumbed down. He's part of the Guardians of the Galaxy when he was against the Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, some choices with him I just didn't like when his mom got killed on that Earth or what on that planet or whatever. He was still coming after the Guardians after that, even though he knew the High Authority had blew up the town. By the third act, he was still coming after the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I just thought that maybe it was that was probably bad editing, but I just didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I thought that was whack. But they dumbed down Adam Warlock, and like I said, I'm not really familiar in the comic, but I know from what I hear in geek culture that he's a savage, just like he was in the beginning. And I liked it that. I liked it that Adam Warlock. I wanted that Adam Warlock throughout the whole film because I'm like, damn, the Guardians they got to force to reckon with this dude because he was just kicking their ass. That first act, he was brutal. But I think the studio got involved for some reason and said, no, we can't have that. It seemed like James Gunn was going there, but by the end of the movie, it was downhill. So, is this a good Adam Warlock overall? And I would say, no. No, this Adam Warlock sucked. He sucked. Let's talk about Rocket, who is the heart of this movie. I thought I thought his backstory was good. Now there was times that I thought it felt kind of overstuffed, like they were just forcing you to like these characters. Me personally, I would have preferred a solo movie of this. I get what James Gunn was trying to do, and I respect him for that. He wanted to show, Rocket's beginning. The problem I have with his origin story, once you got invested in it, it'll cut to jokes. Once you got invested in it, it'll cut to jokes. So you don't really have time to feel for these characters. You know, Even though it was sad when his friends was gone, I didn't really care. like, um, but I get what he was trying to do. I felt if he would have focused more on Rocket's solo story more, so we can get the introduction of the characters and more of the high evolutionary, the high evolutionary. I think that would have set the tone straight. But it just kept cutting the jokes. Yeah, we know Rocket's hurt, and he's struggling, but it just kept. It just kept cutting the jokes, and I didn't like that. But overall, do I think Rocket's story was the heart of this movie? I would say, yeah, I do. I think that's a plus. Um, I wish we would have got more. I wish they would have made it less jokey and more serious. But other than that, I think Rocket did a good job. Especially at the end, since now he's the new leader of the galaxy, so we'll see him and Groot together. I think that was a good call on James Gunn. So I definitely liked Rocket in the story. Next, we're going to talk about Peter. I thought Peter was good. And it's sad that Chris Pratt, I think he should be an A-list actor right now because he's been consistent throughout the whole series, as Peter Quill. And I dug him. I honestly got emotional at the end because I thought he was going to go. But really what messed that up is Adam Warlock saving him. I think, honestly, as much as I love Peter in this movie, because he is and Chris Pratt is the face of this movie, I think they should have went ahead and killed him off. Now, I know a lot of y'all will say, well, he didn't want to see his grandfather, but it would have been unexpected if they was going to kill him off, because scientifically, you wouldn't be able to survive that if you get caught up in space like that. I think you only got probably almost 10 seconds before your body dies out like that. Because he was swelled up. I mean, the body does that in real life, but in real life, he would have been dead. And his face wouldn't have recovered at all. But although I think Peter and Chris Pratt did a good job, I guess that ending was fan service, but I think they should have just killed him off though. I think that would have set the mood right. Nebula, she was okay. She definitely improved throughout the series. The only thing I had a problem with was her makeup. In some scenes, she looked like the female Pinhead, just without the pins. So she looked like Hellraiser in some scenes, but other than her yelling and screaming, I thought she was pretty cool. And I noticed they gave her a pouch. I don't know if she's pregnant or not, but I thought Nebula did a good job. I just don't buy her knowing Gamora all this time or having communication with Gamora ever since the Endgame. I just didn't buy that, but I think she did a good job. I think Nebula did a good job. The High Revolutionary. Do I think he's the best villain? Survey says. Nah, I don't think so. I think if we would have got more of him, and got to know his motivation, I would have liked him more. He is ruthless. I love the part where Rocket cries and he's mimicking. He's I think he did good acting in that scene, but the rest of the scene felt like they was forced and he was overdoing it. I'm not really too familiar with this actor, but I think he did a bad job. Other than that, one scene with him mimicking Rocket or whatever, that was about it. I thought he was more savage when he had that gun, that pistol, and he was I liked that scene. I thought he did a good job there, but they didn't give us enough of him. But it's a Marvel movie. I don't think he was I just think he was a rip off from Thanos. And yeah, he did look like RoboCop the way his face and stuff is. But Groot is always the heart of the Marvel movies. I liked him. I liked that scene where he had the guns and coming out. He had some badass scenes. Groot did a good job playing the side guy, this adult group, because we grew up with this group, but he was the side right hand man. And I love the gun scene where he pulls out all the guns. I thought all his scenes was good. The only thing I did not like with Groot was, yes, you guessed it. It was the scene where he was he said I love you. I didn't like that. I think James Gunn was pushing it, man. I wanted him to say I am Groot still, but I think James Gunn was just force feeding people, trying to react on people's emotions. But other than that, I thought Groot did a good job, and I'm looking forward to seeing him throughout the series. Gamora, I'm gonna just say, yeah, she was savage, especially when she shot that lady in the leg. I thought she was just terrible in this movie. I did not like her at all. Honestly, I think the movie could have did well without her. But I know they wanted to bring her back just for fan service. But this did not feel like Gamora at all. And this is a different Gamora, but I don't really think that mattered. I think they should have just left her out of the movie and just kept the audience wondering where she was at, because she just appears, from Endgame. She just appeared. We don't know where she went and all that stuff. She just appears. I didn't like that. I thought the movie, it would have made a difference if she was in it or not. She was just in it just for face value. But I did not like her acting. She was a total bitch. A total dick. Had an attitude problem. Yeah, she was savage, especially when she shot that lady in the leg. And then she stabbed the High Evolutionary. But I did not like this Gamora. I did not like her, man. I think she was just really unnecessary. But other than that, Drax and Mantis, honestly, I think the chemistry between those two is actually good. I like the chemistry. They're dumb, fun people, dumb, fun characters. And you could tell they got a lot of chemistry with each other. It seemed like it got better over time in this movie. So I thought they really did a good job. I wish they would have ended up together though. But James Gunn, I really think he was in a hurry with this film. But overall, I think Drax and Mantis, they did a good job for their characters. They did a good job. All right, I think they did a good job. Other than that, but like I said, overall, do I think the movie is fun to watch? Yes, I do. But however, it is boring. It is boring. Like, it's not like it takes you in and out the movie. I think the jokes in this movie was corny as hell. That's what really took me out of it. And the music sucked. It sucked. But other than that, do I think James Gunn did a good job with this movie? I think he did good. I mean, it's a third movie in a series, and most films, most trilogies, the third film is always the hardest because you got to wrap up stuff. And the only film that I know, the film franchise that I know that did a good job was Back to the Future. And that's just in my opinion. I think they did a good job, even though Part 3 is the weakest of them all. Part 3 of Back to the Future did a good job of wrapping everything up, because it's like you couldn't have Part 3 without having 1 and 2. It was just like, I think they did a good job there. But overall, is Guardians of the Galaxy the best movie of all time? Is it the best thing since Endgame? Survey said, nah, I don't think so. I think Spider-Man No Way Home was the best one, honestly. But this probably come after Spider-Man No Way Home. Even though I had critiques about that film, this film, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, it did its job. It was dumb fun. Yes, it's sloppy. Yes, it's choppy. But overall, was it a good send-off for a third movie? I think so. Could it have been better? Yes, if there was less jokes, if the runtime was kind of short, and if we focus more on Rocket's story, I think this movie would have been a success. But that's just my opinion. Do I trust James Gunn with a Superman movie? No. I don't know how he's gonna beat that. I mean, James Gunn's gonna have to do a total 360, but it seemed like we're going back to Superman Return just with James Gunn. So I don't know how that's gonna be, but overall, does Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 3, is it a decent movie in the franchise? Does it complete the franchise of these characters? In my opinion, I would say yes, it does. That's just my opinion. Although some scenes suck, I would say it is a decent movie to a franchise, and it's a good ending to these characters. So that's my review. Comment below. I'm almost to 500 subscribers, so if you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts below. You know, I always answer comments and questions, and I got more good content coming up for you soon. So I'll see you on the next video. Peace.